This is a 8 Marine stimulus drop here, and it should not be doing this kind of damage. And at the same time, we see drones lined up at the third base. Every single one goes down. That must be almost 23 workers killed now.
23 workers killed, and not a single unit really lost there for MMA. He's still got 8 Marines in his medevac, the 6 Hellions or so. I think he lost maybe 2 of them, but
yeah, he lost 2.
A beautiful attack here, and this is crippling. This is almost game-ending damage.
It actually is game-ending damage when this much damage happens and you still have the drop and you still have 4 Hellions that are doing a run-by again at the third base, and these drones aren't split apart. We see 3 more go down.
Yeah, there's a 4th as well, and this is a wonderful start for any MMA fans and, of course, Team EIZO fans as he kickstarts his round of 64 performance here on the main stream at DreamHack Open Moscow. Beautifully here. The medevac's still around in typical MMA fashion. The medevac going in and out. And he shakes it all about Moonglade with these Marines and coming in for a couple more kills. Stim is even done now.
He's going to get these kills too. I mean, simply, LiveZerg is asleep, man. He's just simply not reacting enough to these drops, and he's actually fighting the roaches at this point. And I think he can actually beat them as well with some beautiful micro.
Yeah, wonderful play here from MMA.
Oh no, and the Queen as well. And only 2 Marines have gone down for 4 roaches and a Queen.
Yeah, 1-1 upgrades now finishing up here for MMA. He's got the armory down so he can go to 2-2. He's got a decent set of units that he's built behind all this harassment because he's still using the original units that he started the game with here. And he may join all his forces together. And to be honest, no Baneling Nest. Gas kind of a little bit low anyway here for LiveZerg. I think he's just going to lose to these units.
I believe that's exactly what's going to happen. His Queen's already getting shot down at this point, and he has enough roaches maybe. He's got 9 roaches coming up to kind of help out here, and it's definitely going to be enough to chase these Marines away. But still, MMA cutting the creep short here, getting rid of everything he can.
Yeah, 18 more Lings coming in here. 2 upgrades are on the way for LiveZerg, but MMA, if only he knew what was on the other side of this creep, I'm sure he'd be stimming for victory. But he transformed his Hellions into Hellbats and is going to continue his push down this right-hand side.
Well, honestly, in this sort of situation, 3 base versus 3 base, that amount of damage has been done already. You can take your time and you can savor this victory. All you got to do, cut the head off the creep spread, and from there, you're in complete map control. And LiveZerg, he's going to have to find something magical at this point. I don't know actually what he can do. It looks like he is adding he's going straight into Mutus from here, which I'm not entirely sure about. I think actually he should have maybe just gone for like the Roach Bane sort of gamble, because there is simply no way you're coming back into this with Mutiling Bane.
He's up to a good drone count, but he simply just doesn't really have any units. He's got very minimal amounts here, and there's a big squad on the right-hand side. There's a big drop headed towards the main base very shortly here as well for MMA, just all over the place here. He's going to pull his opponent to the right-hand side of Overgrowth. He's going to drop inside the main base at the same time. So a beautiful 1-2 move here from MMA. And this is going to land potentially the game-ending strike here. A wonderful game here from the EIZO Terran player as he looks to move forward in first place from this group. And he's killed the Queen, he's killing all the drones, he's going to kill the lair, he's going to kill the spawning pool, Moonglade.
He's killing everything.
He's killing LiveZerg.
He's killing LiveZerg, and LiveZerg's going to try and fight this with Ling and Muta. The lair goes down, there's no Banelings to help out either, so this is going to be like the most cost-efficient drop yet. And there's GG.
Yeah, there is GG. A flawless victory from MMA here to start his main stream performance. Wonderful play from the Terran. And that really was actually very impressive from MMA.
Can I change my vote to 2-0 for MMA? Because I was not expecting it to be that one-sided from a medivac drop.
That was a little bit unfortunate there for LiveZerg. Not sure if it's the nerves, maybe, that he's actually had to stare down MMA for the first time here after that loss. Maybe MMA kind of gave him a bit of a fright before the game. Like, they were going to shake hands. You did to me on line last time.
Hey, man. Like, I remember.
I remember what you did.
I'm coming for you, dude.
And funny enough, we didn't really talk too much about that series, but the third map on the last time they played was Habitation Station. Oh. And it was MMA 1 base, gold base, Marine tank push to the other side of the map. He started to run out of resources on his gold base, so he lifted over and took the other one and tried to continue the push. But LiveZerg did have his number there and was able to prevent MMA from making that work. And I remember the very moment MMA messages into the chat in game said, "Why did I do that?" Yeah, I'm better than trying to 1 base gold against LiveZerg here.
Yeah, that seems like a bit of a mistake there. I mean, looking at that game, the level of both players, it feels like MMA is a few leagues ahead. If he can win with simply 6 Hellions and 8 Marines and a medivac, I mean, That's I haven't seen it do that much damage in a long time in a competitive game.
Yeah, that was crippling damage from the get-go, and like you said, it pretty much ended the game.
23 drones. Yeah, GG.
And there are only 3 players, surprisingly, in Group K, which is where these 2 players come from. We have a Belarus player, which is the 3rd, called Hot Spur. Unfortunately, there was a no-show Russian player, Hooligan.
That's a shame.
Fitting name there.
Yeah.
Didn't really show up for his group play, unfortunately.
Causing
So just
trouble.
a 3-player group. So, these are fighting right now for that first place spot to advance through to the round of 32, which we are getting closer and closer to now at the DreamHack Moscow tournament. Only about a couple of hours away from seeing the group draw to see who plays who. And MMA right now, staring at that first place finish, wants to play against the 2 second-place finishes in his group.
Absolutely.
Best chances to move through, Moonglaze.
It is absolutely.
Simple math.
Absolutely. That's great math right there.
But, I mean, LiveZerg, definitely still dangerous. There's that one picture on the internet. I remember seeing it in WCS when he has the laser eyes. Red laser eyes. Ooh. And he is a scary character.
Yeah, no doubt. No, he's done work before. He can turn this around. It could have just been a kind of a warm-up game for him. Maybe he was just a little unsettled. So we'll have to wait and see what he can do in game 2. Merry-go-round, though, is not going to do him any favors. It's not the easiest map for Zerg versus Terran.
Yeah. And why is that, though? Why would you say that? As a Zerg, when you play all those high GM Korean Terrans on the Korean server Moonglade, when you play against them on Merry-go-round, why is it that they're so good on that map?
Ultimately, it's the 4th base. The 4th base is kind of very, very hard to hold on that map because it is so in the middle or very, very far away that pushing to that is very hard to... kind of spread creep there, essentially from the start, is very difficult. But from there, like stopping Terran pushes it onto that base, especially if you're going to take like a middle one, like it's so easy to siege from the bottom up, do those ferry pushes and whatnot. And just in general, like spreading creep on this map, like down your natural ramp into your 3rd base is also hard because the 3rd is also out in the open. Yeah. Very open map, very, very good for Hellions and Reapers.
Could this push LiveZerg to be more aggressive from 2-3 bases here?
It could very well. I think it could. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
All right, well, let's jump into the game now. We are loaded for map number 2 between MMA and LiveZerg. Which player can go through in first place? Can MMA take it 2-0, or will we go to game 3? Let's find out. 25 seconds in the game. Up here to the top left-hand side of Merry-go-round is a LiveZerg from Team Vega Squadron as he takes on in a revenge match from WCS Premier League Season 2, round of 32, MMA, the Red Terran player, playing for Team EIZO. And, I mean, if anything, if we would go by game number 1, we are going to see a 2-0 here.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever. And we're going to have to wait and see how MMA is going to play this. If he's going to be even... He could be aggressive for sure. He could... I mean, we do see a lot of 2-racks on this map as well, specifically from Maru. But, I mean, every Terran can bust that out and do a lot of work. And there's some great follow-up to it, too. But judging from that first SCV that just finished the supply, it is going to be in that base, in the main base. And I think we're going to see that Reaper into Reactor based on where this barracks is.
Does look like it. A nice little spot in between the supply depot and barracks. And there is the, of course, 12 gas coming out from MMA. Do you think he could open up the same again and just kind of do the same thing?
Yes.
8 Marines, Medivac, and a bunch of Hellions.
I mean, if it works that well the first time, why not try it again?
Do you think the greed led to any of the... I mean, one of the main reasons for him not being able to defend this? Or
I think he was very bad to react to it in general. Like, he simply did not move his drones after he saw the Medivac, after he saw Marines killing them. He still left his drones there.
So, I mean, aside from the attack, and let's ignore that even happened and the game played on.
Okay.
How was LiveZerg's opening? Did you like the fact that he took his gases so late, relied only on Queens?
I didn't like that style, to be honest. Not in this day and age. Back in Wings of Liberty, sure, that would have been a great sort of... it was the standard opening. You get like 4 extra creep queens and you kind of defend with that. But in today's game, in Heart of the Swarm, you definitely have to get speed a little bit earlier or roaches a little bit earlier, and you got to be a lot more aware of these sort of Medivac drops that are happening more and more. And he did not react to it. And it was a very, very standard sort of play from MMA. Like that is as cookie cutter as it gets. You make 6 Hellions, you do a Marine drop, and you try and get into the mineral line with either. And he did not react to either of them, really. Well, the 3rd base got cleared out as well.
Yeah. And very just convincing play from MMA, really. But he goes inside the main base, and you can imagine MMA looking through the eyes of the SCV as he tackles that drone. But more importantly, over the horizon of the hatchery, sees the Vespene Geyser has been taken. So we do have gas income from LiveZerg, unlike the previous game.
No, this is going to be a huge deal, and he's going to know exactly with that timing of the Zergling speed as well. And even the Reaper going to do a little bit of damage here. He's going to try his luck. He's got to be a little careful there. He doesn't want to go too deep in, running through the drone line as well. Ooh, Spore Crawler.
Spore and Extractor there to make sure he doesn't lose these drones.
Yeah.
And even another one, the Natural, is being threatened here. And, you know, he is losing resources for every structure he has to build, then cancel.
He is, for
and
sure.
Of course, the lack of mining time, too, that these drones are not working.
Absolutely, absolutely. A little bit of damage there, about as much as you could expect from one Reaper, at the very least.
And that Reaper is going to be, I suppose, well, he knows that Zergling speed will be out soon. Not straight away, but soon. Yeah,
around like 6 minutes, he'll know that he has to vacate the map for at least a little while until he's got at least 4 Hellions before he can come back on.
And MMA on the other side of things, going to switch up now is Factory of the Barracks, get on that reactor after 4 Marines. But the starport is there.
It is there. We can see the very same thing. I mean, this is the same build to a T. We'll have to wait and see.
Folks in, mate, and he's having a quick look at a free drone kill and a second inside the main here. Doesn't get the second, but he was only there to actually spot the gas.
Yeah.
He wanted to see if anything more had been mined from that, whether he was to expect a Baneling bus, which is another strategy that LiveZerg used last time they played, or if it was just going to be maybe roaches or speed cancel. But he goes in, he sees that Zergling speed is going to complete.
It's going to complete. There's no more extra gas mined out. He gets a free drone, and yeah, very, very nicely done from MMA. Very, very effective scouting there.
And a switch up from MMA here.
Oh, now this is a very, very strong style on this map as well. Considering, as I was saying before, how open that third base is, this is a great way to keep that third base down for a very long time. When you're using Banshees with Hellions on this map, it can get very, very nasty. And we see one Queen out for creep spread, and we see a drone going towards that third base. So he's going to get it down at the very, very standard time, maybe a little bit later than expected. Usually I'm happy with like a 6 minutes sort of third hatch, but you know,
what do you think about the Baneling nest coming in? Is this because that LiveZerg has seen nothing here? Is he playing overly safe here? Does he want to do more of a high, weird economy movement out here?
I think this means he's gonna skip roaches. He's gonna go straight for the Mulisks. Usually you need one or the other. You need a Baneling nest or you need a roach warren, because the Hellbat timings can come very, very quickly, and if you don't have either of those, you are pretty much gonna die unless you've got like 8 queens or something, like something sick. But
well, safety all the way. 10 more lings, 28 lings in total here. Banshee moving across the other side of the map. Spore Crawlers have started, by the way. I think the Banshee just passed an Overlord on the way over.
You know what? We could definitely see a Ling Bane sort of aggression if he can get us around on those Hellions. Well, that would be the trigger. Or he could just go for it anyway.
Well, yeah, he's building more than enough lings to defend and attack at the same time, while going up towards the layer here. And 7 Banelings do get morphed. And he is on the other side of the map. MMA does not know about these lings escaping. Banshee doing a bit of harassment on the Natural. Hellions.
Oh, they're turning around.
Oh, he spots it in the middle of the map. 2 Hellions spot everything here.
Absolutely. So he knows exactly what's going on here. And he has a great block already. He's going to have to split these Marines and kind of get in position for it. So it can still do a lot of damage.
Yeah, and well, he's going to take damage for sure. The supply depots is guaranteed damage here, but how much worker damage or unit damage can he get? There is a hole in that wall, but a great addition of the barracks to force one of the Banelings to get hit, and great targeting down by the Marines on the Banelings. And MMA doesn't take massive damage versus the Banelings. Lings are still in there, but the Hellions are on their way back. And that was well defended.
Very, very well defended. Definitely not worth it for LiveZerg to go for it. I mean, he did get a great supply block, and I mean, he's following up with even more Zerglings here, which is an even bigger investment. He should have been droning after that, trying to go for the SCV kills, kind of pull ahead in economy while he gets that third base up. From here, they're essentially even, I think, because we still see only 2 CCs for MMA. He did hold very well. He didn't lose many SCVs whatsoever. He just lost supply depots, essentially, and a reactor. So, nice defense there from MMA. Great scouting, last minute sort of scouting. And it's going to be up to these Banshees to find some more work. And, I mean, we already have a half HP hatchery up here. So, very, very potential to actually hatchery cancel at this point.
Yeah, and he's going straight for the Spore Crawlers here. The layer's not done, so there's no Overseers, and there's no Spore Crawlers close here. He's going to target them down. And how much damage is he going to get? There's 2 Spore Crawlers are definitely 100% dead, as I just saw them with my eyes. They died.
Saw them, man, and they didn't even get cancelled.
No, man, they 100% died. And a Queen down 2, chasing the other one. MMA just moves over the map with his 2 Banshees that he built, and Well,
there was
2 queens and 2 spores.
He even saw these Banshees before. He just didn't make any sort of spore crawler at that third base.
And even getting into the Lings now. MMA not so interested in trying to bring down the third by the looks of it, just interested in the queens and the units. Overseer is being morphed as MMA does see it, but he's trying to get another queen before he must fly away.
And he got it.
And he does, so 3 queens, 2 spores.
He can kill these 2 queens as well if he wanted. Looks like he's going to settle for drones. Fair enough, and I mean, he can just simply go to that third base now and just kill it, because there's 1 spore crawler that's in a very awkward position. Not going to do much whatsoever.
Yeah, 3 Banshees out now.
Yeah, that's more than enough.
That's a lot here, and MMA does swing around to that third. Banshee on the natural, 1-1 on the way, as you can see. And it takes a bit of damage from these spores and loses one of the queens, unfortunately. The spore giving the queens a bit of detection, as well as that overseer.
Yeah, and that
Banshee's gone.
Decides to chill out for a little while, so... A little bit of a miss micro there, misstep, but they have already done enough damage to be worth it all.
Well, look at this right now. This is a very awkward time, isn't it? Because the Spire's about to finish, and obviously you want to build Mulus when the Spire finishes, but at the same time, you've got a bunch of Marines moving over. Do you build the Mulus you want to build because the Spire's done, or do you build the Banelings to stay alive?
I would be making Ling Bane at this point, to be honest. I would not be... Mutas is kind of like a comfort unit that you make when you're in a good position, you're not being threatened and pressured. Right now, he needs so many more Zerglings. He's got 3 right now, making 3 Banelings, making 26 Zerglings. But it's not going to be enough, and he's already found them Banelings morphing, so he's not going to have any Banelings to deal with these Marines whatsoever, and we could actually see
And these are 1-1 Marines here, so against the 0-0 Lings, and that is it. GG. MMA takes a 2-0 here over LiveZerg and will advance from Group K in first place there. Congratulations to MMA.
Very, very solid performance there. Looking very strong, and LiveZerg looking a little shaky. Maybe he's not too stressed about this match, considering there's only 3 players in that group.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I could assume. Like, maybe he's not... He's like, oh, I got to win this no matter what. He's like, I can lose this and still get through, so I'm going to do that.
Yeah, he will need to go up against Hotspur, the Belarus player, in his next game now in a Zerg versus Zerg, which sometimes can be a bit tricky.
It can be tricky. Anything can happen.
You know, any spawn and pull early builds or something that could catch him off guard.
Anyone can beat anyone in that matchup.
That's right. So definitely need to be a little bit careful, but hopefully LiveZerg should still be looking at a second place here, but it's not guaranteed. No way, no way. But that is a cool series. Nice and good to see MMA in form.
Nice, quick series. I'm a little disappointed it wasn't a little bit longer, so we got to see more of that mid to late game ZVT, which is also a lot of fun. But hopefully next time.
Hopefully next time, but that is MMA through to the round of 32, guaranteed. And we'll see who he'll go up against later, because we have one more series, of course, before we do look at the round of 32. We'll be going through the group drawings with Richard and Todd very, very shortly after that last series. And we will have words from MMA himself very shortly.
Excellent.
You know, if you've been following the tournament, once a player wins, we get to have the winner's interview with Sue. You'll be asking him questions about Russia, form, and BlizzCon, and what his chances are for this tournament.
Hopefully he's in really good spirits, and he's aiming to win this thing, because I think he can for sure.
And MMA Snoot Finals would be a big final that everyone would love to see, I think.
Absolutely. That'd be actually amazing to see.
All right,
I hope so.
I hope so too, Moonglade. All right, Sue is standing by with MMA. Let's hear some words from the Golden Boy himself.
Thank you very much, Apollo. Congratulations, MMA, on making it to group stage 2. Now, funny little story before we get into this interview. I remember 3 years ago, I asked MMA what his favorite StarCraft 2 unit is, and and he said that it was the Medevac, and we saw exactly why in that game 1 with that incredible drop where he did so much damage. Now, just going into those games, obviously he was able to win a very convincing 2-0, but they do have history. LiveZerg was able to beat him in WCS EU. So MMA, going into the match, were you eager to play him because you wanted revenge, or were you nervous at all? What was going through your head knowing that you had that history with LiveZerg? 이제 그 라이브저그 선수랑 옛날에 그 WCS EU 때 졌잖아요. 그래서 그런 것 때문에 약간 복수하고 싶은 마음에 약간 더 하고 싶었나요? 아니면 좀 긴장이 됐나요? 아니면 무슨 생각이 들었나요?
I just play past is in the past, so I beat him.
Very, very nice. Now, MMA, you're currently ranked 20 in the WCS rankings. That means that with every tournament that you play leading up to BlizzCon, it means that much more. Do you feel more pressure now, like because you're so close to BlizzCon, or because the games mean so much more, or are you just taking it one game at a time? 이해했어요?
It's my very important match. So Moscow and WCS, I need win. I must win.
Okay, he must win. It seems that MMA's English also has improved drastically since the last time I interviewed him. Now, MMA, I've watched you at various tournaments recently. When you did interviews there, you said that honestly, at those tournaments, you felt like you just hadn't had enough practice to show good results there. Now, coming into DreamHack Moscow, did you practice a lot coming into it? How confident are you here?
I'm practicing a lot with Hasidom and Hyun, so I have many confidence. So it's okay. I think Moscow very good result, I hope.
Well, it sounds like MMA is super confident. Before we wrap up this interview, do you have any words for, I'm sure you have a lot of fans watching this interview right now. 팬들에게 한마디 해주세요.
Thanks for cheering me, and I beat LiveZerg, so past is in the past. LiveZerg not LiveZerg anymore. He is DeadZerg.
There you have it. MMA says LiveZerg is now DeadZerg. Thank you very much, MMA. Guys, we are going to a commercial break. When we get back, we'll have the last match that we're broadcasting of Group Stage 1, so stay tuned.